Hello everyone, welcome to DSS online classes. Today we will be discuss the NCERT class 10th economics chapter sectors of Indian economy. In this video we covered three topics, and that is first topic is why are workers exploited in an unorganized sector. Second topic is economic activity on the basis of nature of ownership, and that is public sector and private sector. And the last one is why is it important for public sector to focus on some areas. So students, let's start our first topic, and that is how to protect the workers of the unorganized sector. As we discussed earlier, the people who are working in the organized sector and the unorganized sector, and you all know that organized sector is having systematic rules and regulations, and in an unorganized sector we find many companies which are also organized but claim itself as an unorganized sector. Why do large companies also they are being organized, then why they claim unorganized sector? Because the unorganized company would like to evade the taxes. They would not like to pay any kind of taxes for the government, so they would like register themselves as an unorganized sector industries rather than organized sector industries. They also try to avoid the following the rules and regulation of Labor Act, because it provides rights for the laborers to act and to behave or to question the act of the management. So they would not like to follow any this kind of things. They are making the people to work at very low wages, and they also because of 1990s afterward, many of the people those are working in organized sector lost their jobs because of rapid mobilization which happened after 1990s. So there are many number of people who are skilled, talented, but need to find some jobs or works. So they are forced to join the unorganized sector where there is no proper salary requirement paid for them. The salaries are very low, the structural basis are very low, no benefit provided for them, no security of employment provided for them. Most of the time they are exploited by the companies, and this automatically leads for them to ensure state of insecure state of mind. So government has to plan and take certain steps to provide security employment for them, and no employee can be removed for the company without any prior notice or without any proper procedure. All these things have strictly implemented. Government has to take certain steps because nearly 90% of the people who are working in the different sectors comes under the unorganized sector. Let's take in the villages, many small and marginal farmers are having medium land where it cannot sufficient for them to lead their life happily. So they depend on the unorganized sector job. While in coming to the cities, those who are selling their shop on the roads, those are having small part-time job, or those are working as a worker or repair करने का जो काम करते हैं, electricians, all these people comes under this category of unorganized sector workers. So for them it is a best to government as to make sure that this unorganized people are also would get safe and secure employment opportunities. Then only the country will progress. These all steps have to be taken by the government, and is the high time, because nearly 90% of the people are still working under the unorganized sector, where the government have to take the steps very seriously and provide safety and security for the employees or the workers working under this sector. Then only the country can progress. Now learn that sectors in term of ownership. So the question is, who is the owner? Who is the owner? If government owns everything, for example railway, in railway, starting from the railway tracks to the railway engine, railway locomotive, railway compartments, railway platform, everything are owned by government of India. So railway comes under the category of government owns industry. This is also known as public property or public sector. Everybody can use this one. There is no restrictions lay for any individual who can not utilize this because it is the owner of it is the owner of, is government. Government can own everything in this, so obvious reduce chances for everybody in the country to utilize that one. When any individual owns the property and he runs according to the interest, his motto, his understanding, his profit, that is called private. The example from private industry is uh, like Tata Industry, Tata Steel and Corporation, or TISCO, Reliance Industry, Reliance Industries Limited. These are the major example for private industries or private sectors. We have public industry and private industries on the basis of ownership. So public industries are everything which owned by government of India and equally shared for all the public. When it comes to private industries, it is owned by private individual. Private individual is supreme authority of all his property and assets. He runs with his own interest. Generally all the public industries are run with the profit motto. उनका मेन मोटो क्या होता है? प्रॉफिट कमाना. Their main motto is running behind any industry or any business is profit. They want to earn huge amount of profit. So private industries ownership is only for profit. But when it comes to the private industry, to public industry, the government had certain responsibilities in the modern days. Today the government are responsible government, democratic government, also called as responsible or reasonable government, so they have more number of responsibilities. So students, let's discuss why government have certain responsibilities. Let's find out some of the responsibilities of the government, or our next topic is why it is important for public sector to focus on some areas. Government had certain responsibilities, like first is support. Government need to support certain things because private industries are run only and only the motto of profit, whereas public industries are run with the motto of taking care towards the public. So government has to support by giving support to construction of bridges, construction in the railways, construction in the natural harbor, production of electricity, generation of electricity, construction of dams, etc. So for providing railway, harbor, electricity, dam, and all the very huge amount of investment, from where do we get very huge amount of investment? These huge amount of investment we get from the taxes which are laid by the government of India. The taxes, what the common man pay through various sources, and also when we buy some items we find that MRP inclusive of all taxes. So we are indirectly paying taxes through buying some products, or direct taxes, direct or indirect taxes like sale tax, everything together government of India gets certain amount which is required to support our country. Through have good bridge, roads, electricity, dams, etc. And we also have some cases which are registered as malnutrition, undernutrition, where there is not sufficient amount of nutritious food. When the children do not get sufficient amount of nutritious food from 0 to 5 years of age, they will definitely lose their life. That is called infant mortality. In India, we have in Bihar nearly 87 kids per every 1,000 are passed away because of malnutrition. This is an alarming state for all of us. We will respond very soon and try to make certain steps which can stop the infant mortality rate rising up. And the next one, what we have to we need to provide safe drinking water to many people, because that is the basic responsibility. If you cannot provide safe drinking water to our countrymen, it is very difficult to people to survive healthy. We have one region called Nalgonda in our Andhra state, where people affected with fluoride because the water what they drink is contaminated the fluorescence. So this fluoride is affecting the bone of the people, those who are staying there. So government has to take their responsibilities to provide safe drinking water. Now electricity, in modern days we know that electricity charges shooting up very soon. Government has to take certain steps and stop them shooting up, because if electricity charges are increased, small scale industries and the middle scale industries, the cost of products is automatically would increase. So government has to ensure the ensure and pay certain amount for electricity as a subsidy, and taxes should be reduced so that the electricity charges should not be increased, and government has some subsidy to small units to be given. And also coming to the farmers have to be given fair price for whatever they produce. For example, we have seen in the class 9th Food for Security Act, फूड फॉर सिक्योरिटी चैप्टर में आपने पढ़ा है क्लास 9th में. दिस इंश्योर दैट गवर्नमेंट वुड बाई डायरेक्टली फ्रॉम द फूड बाय फार्मर्स एट द मिनिमम सपोर्ट प्राइस. After buying from the farmers at minimum support price, they definitely get and store them in FCI, Food Corporation of India. And again, government should not sell them at what cost brought from the farmer. It has to give some reduction the cost and send it through the ration shops or the provisional stores through very less cost, so that common people can buy it, or below poverty line people can buy it, and the malnutrition effect would not be there. So in this way, government has to take serious concerns or the people who are coming under the categories of poor and the weaker section. So government has to plan to spend more funds on these sectors where there is a requirement, and ensure that these are functioning successfully, and large number of people would get benefited for the functioning of these sectors. That is the main motto of the modern day government or responsible government of the present country. Now children,